women are not and have never been a danger to other women.
Hiya, I'm the person from that video, Charlie Wren, she, they, lesbian singer-songwriter from London, and I'm going to double down on what I said because you guys have been trying to misunderstand me. I'm not saying we all should be in an open plan bathroom, all of us, where anyone can see anyone and you have to wash your hands next to a man and maybe a non-binary person. You have to be super uncomfortable with people whose identities you might not understand and be around a man who might want to be violent towards you. I'm not saying we should get rid of safe spaces for women and vulnerable people and children. What I am saying is we should have gender-neutral bathrooms that are fully functioning small bathrooms with all amenities that are inclusive to disabled people too, that have sinks, mirrors, hand dryers, a toilet, maybe even a baby changing space. And those things already exist in a lot of businesses. They're very common practice in a lot of spaces, and I know that transitioning to that for all businesses everywhere right now is completely unrealistic. It's something that can't happen overnight, but I think it's something that as a society we should gravitate towards in the future, because it just makes more sense, and it would give everyone a fully private space to maybe adjust their headscarf or get changed if you spilled something on yourself. As someone who has actually diagnosed PTSD from trauma I've experienced at the hands of men, I also do not want to wash my hands next to a man I don't know. I fully understand that. However, I will happily be using a toilet that at some point in the existence of the toilet has been used by a man, or any trans person, as someone who identifies as genderqueer themselves. So when I say we can get rid of gendered bathrooms, we do not need them. I'm not saying we should get rid of all female spaces. However, I'm going to double down and say that trans women belong in women's spaces for their safety as well. If you are afraid of a man infringing on your space, you are afraid of cis men, and by that I mean biological men. And if a man thinks he needs to pretend to be a trans woman in order to violate someone else and be aggressive and maybe assault someone, as alluded to in these comments, then you're still afraid of men. And I'm sure that there's a very, very, very small percentage of trans people who have also been abusers and who have assaulted people. But you will find a bad egg in all groups of society, and condemning one of the smallest, most marginalized, most vulnerable group within our society is not going to solve any of this, when the issues we're having and the fears you are having are based on what cis men and in general men are doing to women, and this includes trans women, because trans women are the most vulnerable to violence at the hands of men. Therefore, excluding them from women's spaces